Hey there, Sheepdoggers, and welcome to Sheepdog's unfair review of Prison Architect. Yes, this game is in early access, and I know that there are quite a few people, or at least some people out there, who don't like me doing reviews on games in early access, especially if I'm negative about them, because you feel that they should be protected for some unknown fucking reason. I've been quite mean to a few early access games, but that's purely because, as far as I'm concerned, you know, they deserved a little bit of being mean to, perhaps so that they'd improve themselves, and yeah. But anyway, you know, you can't say you're not allowed to review a game because it's in early access, because they make you pay money to play it. You know, it's like paying money to test it almost and make the game better, and you should be allowed to you should be allowed to review a game like that. So anyway, enough of my ramble on that. This is a pretty damn good game. It's not absolutely chock-a-block with features and everything yet, but it's definitely on the right track. Graphics wise, resolution, auto, you can also set it yourself if you want. Filtering, there you go, multi-sampled, super sampled. I'm not a technical person, I've got no fucking clue what that means, but there you go, it's there if you want it. Windowed, yes or no. Quite simple. Audio, I haven't really had much problem with the audio. Game wise, autosave, room checker box, don't particularly know what that does, but there you go. And time lapse again, there you go. Playback rate, capture invert. Maybe I shouldn't have taken you to the... I know very little about what that means, but there you go. And you know, you get a little update here on what's happening, and you can see that they've just recently put in armed guards, which I have maybe got one of. You might see that. Okay. And yeah, I mean, it's a really good game. It's really bloody difficult to get the hang of. Like, I've finally got to the point where I can keep a fairly decent setup. So I've got about 49 max prisoners, and I can keep them all happy, and I don't really have too many riots and stuff. It's going pretty well. I've got some dogs, guard dogs going on, and they also sniff out drugs and stuff. So, you know, I kind of started out, I built this area, and then I pushed out into this, got my cell working like that. If you're trying to figure out how to make a fairly small prison that makes money and also doesn't have a whole load of riots and stuff, this is a fairly decent example. I have recently bought this land, but what you want basically is this, and this. Yeah, it's not really a guide video, so there you go. That's all you get. I'd say, you know, if you were to ask me if this game was worth it, there are some mods out there. I've been told there are more mods than I'm aware of. The only one I know about is the extra grants, which do help you in building when you start out. In terms of kind of time spent, I've been doing this prison for a good long while, like over 4 or 5 hours, and yeah, it is really entertaining. I mean, there are certain aspects where there's a certain amount of sitting back now for me and just waiting. You can make things interesting. You can kind of open it up to more prisoners and exceed your number of prisoners you can get. For example, tomorrow, in 15 hours game time, I'll be getting 12 prisoners from the max security. So, you know, like murderers and perjury and manslaughter, attempted murder. What's this guy? This guy's Gareth the Edge Edgington killed 2 policemen after a police car ran over his pet poodle while chasing a joyrider. Well, there you go. He's a murderer. grievous bodily harm, assaulting an officer, grievous bodily harm. No murder in there, weirdly enough, even though he killed them. And yeah, you get, well, this guy's a horrible person. He's been in prison twice for rape. And the second time, apparently, his plea was not guilty. So yeah, and yeah, so you want to put in kind of just set up a basic prison and not kind of exceed what you can build for the most part. I tend to build things a bit too big, but you know, for the most part, it will be trial and error, unless you go on, watch people who are good at the game and you know, kind of figure out a decent setup before you start. I'd say there's a lot more fun in just going with it and just trying to get the trying to get the whole thing set up yourself and failing and having riots. And you can see down here you've got emergencies where you can call the fire engine, the riot police, paramedics and everything. You will need that if you try it yourself. And it does go into a lot more detail. You've got this bureaucracy thing where you kind of spend money and research different things. You know, so you can go security, contraband is kind of, you know, what type of contraband, like drugs, weapons, and etc. Your prison policy, you know, how you react to certain contraband stuff, patrols, CCTV, dogs. And you unlock all this as time goes on, and then you spend money on it. And then you can get the land expansion as well, which does open up kind of the ability to start off small, save money, and then go big, which is really nice. I do really like that feature. I like it more than having a whole load of land to start off with and just trying to fill it all up, because that will encourage me to make ridiculous things. This cell, while it may look weird and stupid, I tend to make more weird and stupid when I have more space. So yeah, to be honest, there's not too much to have to say about this game for a review. I mean, you know, if you were to say, you know, how long will this last? It's not going to last you forever, you know. You will get to the point, for example, like I have now, right now I'm at the point where I could just stop here and be kind of like, well, you know, I've made a prison and it's successful and I've got money and, you know, I'm not really having that many riots or anything, and every now and then I'll do a shakedown, and, you know, but the thing is they still are updating it quite regularly, and there are clearly other things they're thinking of implementing. I mean, this execution chamber isn't operational yet, but it will be. You know, they're going to have it so that you'll have executions and stuff like that as well, which is, you know, probably a hot button subject. So please don't talk about that in the comments. There's no need. So yeah, I'd say in regards to whether it's worth getting now, I'm not sure. If you're just gagging for a really good if you're just gagging for a really good sim, or you're really wanting to try this game as a, you know, because it's a prison simulator and, you know, you think it's really interesting, etc., I'd say it's not a waste of money. You know, you won't feel stupid for getting this game at all. You know, for myself, I find it really worthwhile. And I've had a lot of fun in it, even back when it was first starting out, and every prison I made was basically a massacre, actually, not even a mass anything, just a massacre. And yeah, yeah, it's really nice. It's really simple in its own way, yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'd love to kind of go into mass detail about all the rooms and stuff, but that feels more like a feels more like a guide as opposed to a review. And what I need to say for my unfair reviews is basically if I like it and why, and if I don't like it and why not, you know, and then kind of people jump on the comments and have a go at me for being wrong, But still, you know, it's an unfair review. Fuck it, who cares? So I'd say, yeah, I like this game because it's just a really good little management game, you know, and it looks like it's got a lot of room to improve and to add new features, which will keep me coming back. So I'd say this is a good example of what you want from an early access game, is a good core base game that keeps you interested, and then every now and then will update and have you coming back to play more. You know, so when they finally release the game, and they kind of add the total content and everything, you'll be able to jump in and kind of be decent at the game, but there'll also be more stuff for you to do, and just, you know, just added content basically. It's almost like getting a game nowadays and then getting free DLC, which is just a wonderful boon in these times, because we all know that DLC is becoming highly... no, let's not talk about that, because I'll go on a giant rant about DLC and green light and early access and the way people try and cheat you out of your money, and no one wants to hear that in an unfair review. I'll do that in a rant at some point. Okay, so yeah, this is the game. This is pretty much what it is. You build a prison. You know, you got the yard over here. You got cells. They have to be a certain size. You can get metal detectors so that you can find these guys here are being searched for weapons or tools or whatever. They will try and escape as well. They will try and escape, and I've already had a couple of escapees in this playthrough I've done today. Oh, there you go. Found someone with a spoon, and they use that to dig out. I've had yeah, you can see over here, right there. There's a tunnel. Some guy dug out under his bed down here, and then escaped, which was egg on my face, to say the least. What we'll do before we finish is I'll show you. You've got a few different things you can do down here. You've got weapons free. It means you're. It means this guy can use his weapon if he wants and kill people. But that's not a brilliant thing. And what I really like doing is shakedown, which is where it basically orders the guards to search everywhere, and you'll see how much contraband they find when they do the shakedown, and they'll search all the prisoners and all the prisoners' rooms and all that stuff. It's always interesting to see I found like piano wire and stuff like that as well, which I'd never found before, like, you know, random searches and stuff like that. And apparently it was brought from up here, which means I think possibly they brought it in with them when they got sent to jail. So yeah, it's while my guards are finishing off doing this search, they're not finding anything at all. It's once you've gotten used to how the game is, and you've gotten kind of a fair footing, it can be quite easy. But there are some very challenging aspects of it, and from what I hear, there are also some mods that shake it up a little, and you know, and they're basically how mods should be. They're adding features to the game that make it more interesting, as opposed to making the game playable or making the game fun. So, you know, all around, I say, you know, expect good things from this game as time goes on, and I don't expect it to be, you know, to be really put down or criticized in many ways. You know, I can't think of. I generally enjoy criticizing games, and I can't think of really any criticisms for this game. All I'd like is a bit more features, you know, kind of more units, more things to research, kind of a slightly longer game. But again, this is early access, so you know, you get what you get when you get an early access game. So, and we have found literally nothing. an entire search of my prison. This is how well I'm running my prison at the moment. It's really difficult to actually find things on a shakedown now. I mean, I found some booze, I think, and that's about it. So yeah, you can also lock down, you can bang up, you can call in the emergency services, and, you know, some things that would be nice to see. I'm going to give a tiny little shout out, because I'm streaming at the moment as well, and I'm going to give a tiny little shout out to Just Chill 1001, who's in the stream at the moment, who reminded me something I wanted to talk about, and that's some of the features I hope they will add, which is, like, you know, a max security block, and you know, where they keep, like, the kind of Jokers or Hannibal Lecters of the world, and, you know, getting the electric chair up and running, and everything. So yeah, it's all stuff I'm hoping for, and I'm looking forward to, and I think it's starting as they add more stuff through the early access. I'm thinking and hoping that, yeah, it's going to be fairly easy to add in new stuff and to kind of keep the game running a bit longer and everything. Maybe you'll get, like, you know, people coming to try and jailbreak, and you can have, you know, different types of prisons. So, like, you know, a kind of Mexican or Honduran or something prison, which is run really horrible. You know, like that prison in Prison Break, like the second one, where it's like a shithole. I'd love to run a prison like that, because you know, it's just, it would be interesting. So yeah, maybe that will be done in mods, or maybe the devs will try to add something in similar to that. But yeah, it could really go in interesting places. So aside from the giant amount of rambling I've just been doing, I'll say this, which is, it seems like a very interesting game. I've been playing it on and off as new updates come in for quite a while, and even the first time I played it with much less features than this, I didn't feel cheated. I didn't feel let down by the amount of money I paid for it, or by the fact that it's early access or anything. So for those of you out there who always ask me to clarify whether I recommend a game or whether they should get it or not, I do recommend this game. I'm not going to tell you whether to get it or not, but I recommend the game. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.